you're cutting out a little bit, so I want to make sure you didn't have any bandwidth issues. But yeah.
Okay. This is alive. We've already determined the sides. We've already had the knife round. That was probably the best knife round that I've seen in this tournament. And I think let's help you recapture that moment here. This is the opening that we just saw from...
Going John Madden on it?
No, just showing you again. Do they go back to it? It seems that way.
Yeah, it does.
Certainly seems that way. They're going back to it.
Two people playing at the long haul right here, so should, you know, OEF try to pick or peek that, they could potentially get crushed.
Yeah, the number 3 and the number 1 man, that's AZK and Swag sitting at the back of the hall. They'll wait. dboorN wins that battle, and AZK gets dropped, stapled, his head pierced back to the end of the hallway, and they'll back out. Look at the movement on the minimap of all the T's moving back into position. Oh, and gathering themselves back up for another A take. The bomb sits at the cross peak position at mid. Oh, Shroud is sad.
And I was going to say I actually didn't really like that apartment hold because the area is so narrow, and the way they were holding it basically was just AZK out on an island, and if he didn't hit a shot, then he had nowhere to go.
I feel like
couldn't really take a spot. So
I feel like the science here is that we're so good at hitting our shots, we're both going to, if one of us misses, the other one's going to hit it. But it didn't work out that way. Desi is about to begin the wrap process. Nobody's at the port side, so I suppose this isn't a wrap. I think with Shroud at the banana, the intention was to have him be a flanker that could turn that into a B wrap, and they don't have that choice anymore. It doesn't matter, because Steel's the last one left versus 3, and he's got a clutch, but the plan has just changed ad hoc at the command of Irukandji. Steel just gushed Desi. He walks away wounded at 10 HP, and Steel sort of knows it, sort of smells the blood, but didn't really pick up on the cue that Desi left the scene of the crime. 1 alive. It's this guy. Steel. And he'll come around Moto. His silencer's barely peeking out. He's at the top of Irukandji's head, and he'll get sprayed. There's really no reason to save this USP. He knows it, but of course he has a frag and a flash, so he's thinking, okay, I'll just figure I'll use these frags and flashes next round. It's the epic USP save.
Yeah, and the bomb timer was already ticking down where he couldn't defuse it. So I mean, when you're in the position to just get exits like he was, I mean, that's the best thing to do. And he picked up another one as he was going out right there. So I mean, he has a decent chunk of change for himself. I mean, as much as you can for losing the first round.
Okay. He'll have 500 after those purchases, and he's got armor, 5/7 smoke on top of the frag and flash. So let's see if that benefits him this round. The initial split from the T side, that opening is the same one, the same progression we saw before, with Shroud sitting on banana, controlling it himself, and the rest of the T-force moving through alternate to establish their presence. It's a double look inside of the apartments this time. It's a two-way cross between Swag and AZK. Oh no. That one just sails a little bit past Swag behind him into the boiler while he was at the top of that connector between the boiler and the dark bedroom. Very, very cautious opening right now. They know that moving through these small spaces is CZ land. You know, moving anywhere that's a narrow spot is a one-way ticket to getting CZ'd.
Yeah, and they got CZ before, and you saw Dazed and Skadoodle actually both playing the arch position, and then you heard Dazed actually run away, so I think that gave the sound bait to OEF to think that, hey, he ran away, but you see Skadoodle's in the cubby. Oh, no. Well, I was going to say he was in the cubby with the potential to get a drop on these guys, but he kind of peeked out abruptly and just, yeah, didn't do anything.
Swag is pushed, and Shroud is ready to intercept. He's not looking, but he turns on him, so they'll pick up that kill. It's going to be 5 versus 2. Some wounded T's, yes. But really, oh, never mind. Really, with the situation even armored, it's virtually impossible, as we just found out. 2 for the open equal free squad, and maybe a third. You'll probably see a full save right now, with maybe Steel being the exception. No.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't get you good this time, so now I think Ibuypower has to do a full save. Oh, Skadoodle picking up that CZ. He had some extra cast, and Steel as well, so... actually 3 going across. AZK has 1 too, but no armor. They do got to go for that majority save in order to be able to buy next round. We won't be seeing an op from Skadoodle most likely unless they come out with the win here. So yeah, don't count on seeing that in the next round.
Every principle of the game is telling you full save, full save, full save. It's like the One Ring, dude. It's like whispering at you, like, buy the CZ.
The CZ, yeah.
Buy the CZ.
Buy me, you'll get killed.
It's a full stack almost for the CTs. They'll move most everybody past that that line of demarcation, the papal line of demarcation of Inferno. Appropriate since this is like a religiously themed map. And they'll move one person to the pit, not the pit, the top of the balcony above the exits of apps. Don't laugh at the church.
No, just the reference was funny to me.
Oh, I drew a line on the map, like an actual line of demarcation.
Nice.
And we'll walk in, as OEF knows that any sort of giveaway right now gives Ibuypower information that they don't want them to have on an eco round where you have to know Ibuypower is just going to try to do something cheeky, try to do something a little bit funny looking. You got to just walk in. You got to try to figure out how to get there without giving it away. So no flashes, no smokes. We're just going to walk to B.
And the cheekiness is actually all over at B right now.
Yeah, this is about to get a little weird looking. We've got an entry for the tree player. Everyone else is sort of here. We got to be very careful about these oranges right now. Desi turns, finds one, kills him. It's a double oranges. So Dazed is still here. And he gets a dink, which is admirable. It shows off some good-looking aim, but of course, no match versus the AK. So those are the free rounds. Quote, free rounds for open-free.org. Now we're on to the gun rounds.
Yeah, on that round, I saw only 4 dots on the minimap, and I was like, no one died. Where's the second last Ibuypower player? And then yeah, I saw the stack over at B, and I was like, okay. Right,
let's emphasize how important winning that armor CZ round was. And now there's no op on the field, where Skadoodle would really love to have one, and that's a huge win for open-free on this round.
Exactly. I mean, when Skadoodle, that's his go-to weapon is the op, obviously. And look at him; he's actually wielding a FAMAS, so he couldn't even pick up an M4. He's really behind in terms of money. So I mean, OEF is doing a great job in stopping him from getting in his comfort zone, and that's going to be huge for them. And being able to pick up more rounds. I mean, they got a good chance of taking this one as well.
Passive look, full spread from the T's. They'll control every direction possible. The support player for B, a support player for mid, a support player that could swing from mid to the apps. It's a catch-all sort of formation for open-free, and they will just sit on it. No smokes or anything, not until minikerr just threw that one to manipulate the positioning of their opponents. Steel, by the way, is by himself at the top of the banana, behind the yellow, behind that little plywood, and if he's, of course, found out, then that entire bomb site B is open for business. And OEF wants nothing to do with it with 50 seconds remaining, and surely everybody's standing in one centralized location. This means that this is a set piece. Surely it is, and it is. Irukandji has a smoke. His teammates are now throwing. That one will probably end up in front of the pit. They've isolated the port side. Now it's on AZK. If he loses that battle, this one might slide out of control. Oh, God! You just almost TK'd your teammate there. Smoke from the pit will allow a smoke plant. Desi's going to go for it, but he could get sprayed down. With the continual flashbangs, they may get the bomb plant. Still, Swag sprays through with a double, and he never saw a single person. Never.
Look at that. The bomb was planted, and you have 3 members of Ibuypower in the site and 1 in pit. And Manajuma, OEF, they're nowhere near the site. You got 1 in apps and then 1 over at porch, and they're just all over the place, which unfortunately they weren't able to hold it. But yeah, they got into that site like complete ninjas, got the bomb down, and just backed out.
We'll show you the execute one more time here. First smoke, second smoke, and then one that was deeper even still at Moto later on to disallow somebody to interrupt the bomb plant, excuse me, here and here to disallow the bomb plant. We still had that happen. Swag turned that round on its head by taking an educated guess, spraying through and picking up a double kill, and in that fashion, Ibuypower is now on the board.
Yeah, and we talked about how that was a big round. It was a big round for OEF to try and win, because that would have got Ibuypower just further back on their heels. Skadoodle, he didn't do too well that round, and he had to buy out again, which obviously led to another FAMAS. I mean, he's still behind in terms of money. But yeah, I mean, still, OEF now on the potential save next round if they lose this. Actually, they're looking pretty decent. They should be able to get a force going if they lose this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they want to. Building up your economy for a T side, just having those utilities in your belt eventually pays dividends on a map like this, or eventually if you want to build toward an op and try to play the op single pick game, but we'll see. They've just spotted Steel, and they're going to challenge him. Steel thinks that there's only one person coming toward him, and he's still fighting, thinking that, never mind, he just realized, put it two and two together. Dazed on the flank, picks up a kill that he never should have. Out in open space, loses a battle. Minikerr does, actually, I was phrasing that incorrectly. Minikerr loses a battle that he shouldn't have with an AK.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was in B, no one else was watching mid, and Minikerr had the chance to get the advantage, but instead Dazed comes away with it, and now, he quickly, as soon as he gets the kill, jets right back towards mid and goes to the safe play, and now they got 2 in B waiting for him, and they have the 2-on-4 advantage, not advantage, but 2-on-4.
They've only just now begun the rotates because previous to this, all of the flashes and nades were thrown in such intervals that it could have been one person. Now the full commit comes in. It's just a gunfight back and forth, a wall of smoke between the two teams. And because this melee is happening without any vision, they're going to get a bomb plant off. You got to spray through this Steel because he can't see anybody. He allows that player to walk back away into the barbecue. Irukandji fights. He loses, but at least he got the bomb plant down. So this is going to give some more money that they wouldn't have had before.
Yeah, with all the nades and gunfire that was going on, I don't know if Steel necessarily heard the bomb activate and start getting planted. So I think that's how he got away with that because he was right next to him. But yeah, what you said, you said the smokes came out as if it was only one person throwing the smokes and flashes, and that's what we've seen Irukandji do before. He likes to set that up and make throw the tempo of his nades, make it look like it's only one person there throwing fakes, and then he could change that up and have the rest of his team execute him after, give us some time, let people rotate towards A, and then by then they have a good entry into the site. You
phrased it correctly, perfectly, really. He sets that tempo of his nades, and it held all of Ibuypower back at bomb site A, assuming that that somebody was going to back around toward bomb site A and that they'd have to eventually defend it. Well, it's all very, very, pretty to look at and to think about, but they lost a critical gunfight where they had a huge numbers advantage. Not a huge numbers advantage. Eventually, it turned into a 3 versus 4, but a numbers advantage still.
Yeah.
The opening
even if you execute the nades and the strats correctly, you still got to hit your shots. Essentially, is what it comes down to.
Yeah. This is going to get them a spam kill. Steel just dumping rounds downrange from yellow to the end of the banana, and somebody's going to walk into an errant AK shot.
I saw a peek going mid, but no one exchanged fire.
Look at this. Look at this. Steel's aiming too low. He peeks it, looks off, and moves back toward the side. He's calling for that player, the number 5 man, to move back in the speedway and just sit here to support him. Scott will not commit to the full bomb site. Not until Steel calls him over, and he does. He moves all the way into the construction, and this will cause the bomb planter, or the bomb carrier, Shroud, to move back to join his teammates that control the apartments. Back and forth, back and forth. This is a spread, isolated pick play with a potential roll off of it. This has turned it into a 4-man assault of bomb site A with a single lurker. What a textbook take. All of Ibuypower falls down in just mere seconds. This bomb plant is down. Steals versus 4, and he relives his pistol round.
Yep, and you saw it. Essentially, like we said, Irukandji, he puts the idea into the defense's head of what he's doing, and then he Pavlovs him, I guess, if you want to say, where they see one thing and they think that's going to happen, they're going to go B, and then they were at A this time. So how he does that with the smokes, with the 1 man throwing them, you can't really tell whether or not it's going to be towards B or towards A, and they kind of just have to guess, and this time they guessed incorrectly.
Well, they could be interpreted like it guessed correctly. The way they read it,
yeah,
it made sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose 2020.
Exactly.
We're not seeing an eco around this round. It's sort of a mismatch buy, but I guess if you have a Mag 7 on Inferno, it makes total sense. First shot by Steel in the banana. Looks good. There's a trade and maybe a double. Swag needs to bail out. He'll throw a nade right at his feet. He'll run past that flashbang. Still wins that battle. Desi thought he had him dead to rights. 2 versus 4. They've got some wounded players on Ibuypower side, but it looks like already a round win in the books. Dazed calls him, sees maybe 1, maybe heard 2 around that cubby area, and that doesn't make Ibuypower rotate at all. You know how Manajuma likes to run around, but only 2. Oh my lord, what? Scott went full YOLO, rainbowing over the top of the porch and had a teammate ready to trade for him, so they've gathered the information. They know Miniker's the last one here. They're fine with it. They're gonna hold on to their guns because really they're all weak, and they have nothing to gain from pushing Minikerr, who's been playing pretty well thus far.
He has, but yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, all he has is an AK, so I mean, killing him it's not going to too much, especially when they could just rebuy next round. I'm obviously getting the kill and forcing him to rebuy is great, but Ibuypower themselves are extremely low in terms of economy, so they don't want to lose their guns just to force one AK.
Round over. Ibuypower closes the gap to 1. Remember, it's a heavily CT-sided map, so OpenEqualFree.org is sitting very, very nicely in their position, but of course, beyond this round, it may spiral out of control, so this is a critical one for the Manajuma squad.
Yeah, it is. It is, like you said, and I mean, I just want to point out also Skadoodle's economy. He's still wielding promises pretty much almost every round that he has not recovered. So he's having a really hard time with this game, and you know, I mean, it just shows, you know, when there's a player who's such a specialized in one weapon, how it kind of affects you when you're forced to play with something else. And he's dealing with that pain right now. 3-7 is his score. So I mean, OEF is doing a good job of holding him down, but the rest of Ibuypower is just kind of carrying that weight.
Irukandji is about to get a rude awakening from Dazed right about now. If he moves anywhere into this, he gets pot flashed, he gets full whited, and that means that there's only 2 Ts left. It looks like the last round. Suddenly a trade, 2 versus 3, a very doable situation, and Swag has moved up through the banana. He'll, I think, peek dboorN, who heard Swag and got a little bit too curious. He'll go back for the bomb. They see that player at the T ramp, and minikerr has to go dive for that. He picks it up, and will still charge him. Wanted to throw a pop flash that was not there. Still throwing pop flashes. We'll follow minikerr for the remainder of the round. Nobody's in bomb site B. He's free to plant. This is remarkable, really. They've completely vacated the site, and they are giving him money that he should not be able to get.
He could even come out with a win here. He's 100 health. I mean, Swag's very low. If he plays it right, I mean, he could come out with the 1v3 clutch. Very difficult, but possible.
He needs an early kill, and he needs to not stare down that op. Oh, God. Yeah. He saw it. He saw it, and he's like, I'm stuck now. I'm really stuck now. He needed the one tap. Steel was sitting on him, and he knew he'd be there. That defuse will make it 4-4, all tied up.
Yeah, going towards the emo spot and maybe construction was probably the best play there. I don't know if he knew necessarily that Steel had the op, or that they had an op still alive, so I think he was just going for that new box look. But yeah, once he saw Steel crouch in that corner, you could tell he was just like, well.
In this day and age of Counter-Strike, with the peeker's advantage and all, only one player still crouches, and that's an op.
Mm-hmm.
And he's waiting for you. That's.
You might not have even seen him. That's actually, that distance, it's actually pretty hard to see the CT blind.
Oh no, he saw it. You could see by the body language. A push through the window. Swag misses a volley of shots. He's figured out at least that it's an eco round and he'll walk away alive. In this day and age, you see somebody squatting like that, and you can see that body language behind the new box. He suddenly froze because he was very free and loose earlier, and he's like, oh, he just had that clenching of the bowels, like, oh no, damn. Again, Shroud doesn't need to see people to kill them. Apparently, we've learned that now.
Well, he did see him, and the smoke popped as he was shooting.
Yeah, it was simultaneous.
Yeah. I mean, still a ridiculous shot.
So we're going to move around the map. Be fluid, be agile, be flexible, and try to pick up some kills that otherwise we wouldn't have if we weren't as flexible. We're going to cause Dazed to move back into bomb site B. They've identified both players. They'll try to sandwich them in, and Swag will have to take this one just a little bit carefully so not to absorb any P250 shots to the face. 55 seconds remain. They have no obligation to take bomb site B, but they know they've been penned in. So now what do? We let Shroud handle it. Headshots abound. He needs one, and he can very well get it. He's got to feel that somebody's got to be behind him, and he just ate a flashbang. What a great timed support flash from Ibuypower, which wrangles in and hog-ties that last player. It's 5-4. Ibuypower takes the first lead of this game.
Yeah, release the Shroud. Skadoodle finally getting an op. I think that was passed to him by Steel. minikerr actually picking up one for himself as well, so we might see an op duel. Yeah, Skadoodle's heading towards mid, so this should be interesting here.
We want it. We'll do it from minikerr's perspective. He's late on the pick, so he won't challenge. In fact, he'll just take his op and move toward the yellow. Stare it down. Maybe back off that fire a little bit because that hurts. They'll charge out. Desi moved through the fire. One trait, and Irukandji stood in fire till his death? Seriously. Seriously.
Yeah.
I think he stood in the fire until his death. Steele's even complimenting him. He's like,
yeah.
That's how real men die.
Exactly. They wanted that kill, which, I mean, it's kind of odd because I think what happened is Irukandji ran past the fire and kind of panicked when Desi died and tried to go back, and the fire was still there, and it was just a mess from there on out.
We just had a silver moment. A serious silver moment. At that point, you just have to accept I'm not going to be able to trade my teammate because there's fire. Ooh, please no Game of Thrones spoilers for our audience. Step out. And AZK's identified 3. He's really in trouble. He's flashed himself. That's how much in trouble he is. He's got to figure it out how to move back to the site, have his teammate support him, who's Skadoodle with an op, which you've got to feel pretty good about. And nobody's going to wrap through Moto now that they've heard that op. So they're going to have minikerr try to pick him, maybe win that battle. But with AZK so close here, it's unlikely that that's ever going to work. You're going to get shot in the back, minikerr. Oh, it's deathmatch time. 15 seconds. Oh.
One of the worst scenarios you could be in when you have an op.
But it sets you up for that moment of glory. No peek yet. They've tossed the pistols at him. They've juked him every which way. That could have been a double. It is a double. Can he get a triple? Nah, Skadoodle puts him out of his misery. Still, you know, you can't win that round, but you can try to play it as best you can, and that's a pretty good way to do it.
Yeah, if he would have killed Skadoodle right there, that would have been a pretty good round because Skadoodle would have had to force the rebuy, and he doesn't have enough money to pick up an op and everything else he needs. So,
a couple of plays here or there, an adjustment here or there, not standing in fire. Maybe this story is a little bit different, but now it's starting to look like a standard Inferno split, 6-4, and after this eco, maybe 7-4. AZK is fortunate enough not to be traded for and supported by Skadoodle. Whoa! The first time I've seen burst fire work on a Glock, or maybe it was just rapid pistol tapping.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of OEF players I've got from AZK's push was just too many. I mean, they should have checked, you know, towards the left or towards bench rather than just turning around mid.
Really,
it was kind of
only one person directly died from AZK's push, but because they had to come back and trade, figure out how exactly to make it worthwhile, they all ran into sort of a trap.
Yeah. That'll
end the round. It's 7-4, and on a split for the first half on T side, you could be satisfied with a 10-5, a 9-6. Open equal free came out to such a good lead though that I feel that they can make this even an 8-7 sort of half if they can compose themselves this round.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely can. Like you said, this is the round to do it because, you know, they have the money to buy, obviously, and if they lose this round, then it's probably going to be back to saving. But, you know, Skadoodle has his op now, where before he was just so suppressed, and, I mean, it seems Ibuypower is just adjusting to everything they're doing. They can't seem to get back in their momentum of getting their set pieces organized and being able to execute their strategies like they want to.
True, we have not seen a set piece from OEF in quite some time. They'll move toward that same pistol opening that they had before, 4-man control of the apartments with a single person waiting at the back of the T-steps for the interception of anybody who comes down the banana. It's a standoff at banana, actually. It's the 4-man steal versus the 6-man shroud. The real action happens over toward bomb side A. Look how many players are overloaded on the porch side, really. I know they're abs and pit, but how close they are to each other indicates how much they want to control that one lane.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this is one of those times where you would think, okay, well, if OEF was just, you know, putting more focus on the banana, it would come out well for them. But I mean, so far they're just set up for A, waiting for any types of pushes from Ibuypower, because Ibuypower has kind of been getting a little aggressive again since they've been turning it around. But this round they're just not going for those pushes.
We'll have an early rotate. Swag, I think Dazed almost joined him. We'll move toward bomb side B. The bomb is down at bomb side B, and there's no commitment yet from the OEF team. They do take inordinate amount of time to take their sites, and that doesn't allow them for a whole lot of flexibility when they finally commit. It's a coin toss as to whether or not they choose the wrong site or the right site, and whether or not they choose the right site or the wrong site, they have to fight. just like that. I think Dazed just shot his own
Dazed,
teammate.
yeah, I think he did damage to Steel more than the terrorist.
Oh, good God. AZK with a triple, and now a quad. He's looking for that ace, but that last player is not that close. AZK for the ace, not Irukandji gets him denied. Still a round win for the Ibuypower team. It's just... that was tough. There's not a whole lot of reasons as to how AZK got that. They weren't insane flicks or anything like that. There wasn't even a flashbang or anything. He just sprayed them down.
Yeah, they just kind of lined up for him, and he just had to mow him down, hit those easy headshots. And, you know, you said, you know, OEF sets up, and their take time is just, it takes so long, which, I mean, it could be both a good and a bad thing, because it kind of gets Ibuypower guessing, like, okay, we don't know where they are. We haven't heard anything for a while. Are they going to go in A or B? And then they kind of start rotating around the map. But I mean, right there you saw it. I mean, after AZK got those 4 kills, like, the round ended within seconds. So I mean, if they just get any type of defensive hold, then I mean, they have very little time to get that bomb planted. Inside
the head of Irukandji, you must be thinking, well, Ibuypower doesn't respect us. They're going to push us. They're going to try to make us feel uncomfortable. But Ibuypower, in response, is just sitting at their bomb site saying, okay, you know what, you want to waste clock? We're not going to push you. Why would we push you? Why would we make the mistakes? Because clearly you're all good aimers. We're not going to give you that. So you come to us.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm sure, like you said, Ibuypower has identified that OEF is playing very passively and just waiting till the very last few seconds to execute their strategies. And like you said, no reason to push. Just wait for them, and you just have to hit your shots and delay them enough, and the round will be over just due to time.
Precision shots from Skadoodle and Swag over at the art side and the Moto. No trades available for anybody. OEF is just simply gunned down. They did a net of how much? Roughly 80 damage on the round total.
Yeah, and I mean, I did think we were going to be seeing saves here, but I think Ibuypower has won enough rounds in a row where the losing streak bonus is in effect for OEF here, so they are able to buy. And actually only 2 smokes being picked up here, so I mean, this is going to be tough for them to try to get something going here, because their set pieces usually include at least 3 to 4 smokes, and even if they use the 1 smoke in B just to fake, I mean, that's going to leave one more smoke. So, I mean, I could only imagine that B is probably going to be the side they're choosing this on.
For you viewers who are less familiar with Counter-Strike and you think that this is a very lopsided score, yeah, it is a bit lopsided, but, oh, everybody slides back into the pillars, then they come back out. Steel will combo with his teammate for a triple. And this round has suddenly been perforated, punctured with holes, and we've seen the same thing over and over again. No, I don't believe it. Minikerr just charged smoke. That's never going to net you a win right there. Like I was saying, a 9-4 and now 10-4 split is not terribly uncommon, but it seems to me critically important to pick up this last one.
Very important. And I just got to say, that was an awesome play by Steel, and I didn't see who it was with him in B, but I mean, huge play. He was in the sandbags. He threw that behind the back, flash into Banana, flashed everyone, and they all tucked into that little side hall way there over in Banana, the arches area, and he just moved towards car, ducked, and had his teammate peek to get them looking towards him, and cleaned them up very easily.
Here we are in the last round of this one, and Skadoodle standing out in open space with a nade out is an uncharacteristic mistake of his, and minikerr won't let it go unpunished. So they'll move into the brackets at mid. AZK will be charged to hold onto the site from multiple angles, and he'll begin his foray, or his spray, his volley, with a miss. Irukandji punishes, and Shroud joins in. This A-take worked earlier in the half, and they never came back to it. Well, guess what? It works again. Charge into the side. Dazed tries to make the big play. Again, Steel's the last one alive, even though he rotated early. So he's got a 1 versus 5. That's unlikely to happen. 10-5 is your halftime score. You're watching CEVO TV. This is our grand final versus, not versus, Ibuypower versus Open Equal Free. I'm Cotton, my partner is Klops. A special thanks to our partners over at CSGO Lounge and Game Servers. That, to me, standard half. I read nothing into it.
I mean, that last round right there, you saw they changed the speed of their play right there. They went into A quickly, and it caught Ibuypower off guard. So, I mean, had they done that maybe a couple different times in the first half, they probably could have come up with a much better score here going into the second half. But
oh,
like
the push, the push. Just a moment here. We've got minikerr stuck at the bench. They push down in. They have a very wounded dboorN who's now leading the charge, ready to be the bait and find out if, in fact, somebody's waiting for him at the stairs. Nice shot by minikerr. Maybe a wrap-up here for him. He's got a triple on the round. Swag's the last one alive, and now he just fights the deathmatch fight. He'll run back toward the end of the alternate and try to hit a long-distance Glock headshot. Now he's stuck behind these logs. Let me tell you, Open Equal Free made the bold play. It could have thrown away the entire tournament for them if they had lost that one. But their boldness buys them some time. Now, on Dust 2, they did another bold play. Yeah, they won their pistol round on the opposite side, and then they still lost it all. So this comes with a big asterisk. This round is important.
Yeah, this is the eco for Ibuypower, which we saw, of course, them take on Dust 2 with the CZs, but look at that, minikerr starting it off very nicely, and dboorN helping out, and yeah, I mean, right now, they're looking good. They should be able to close this out and pick up another 2 rounds from this.
Uncharacteristic ultra aggro from OEF here, and know that winning this round is going to set them up so well for rounds to come because there have been no bomb plants, virtually no kills, a total of 3 actually, and that round Ibuypower had armor, so we're going to see a third save. It's going to be 10-8 at the end of this one if everything goes according to plan. Then we've got a real game on our hands.
I'm wondering if this aggressive streak from OEF on this counter-terrorist side is going to continue because, I mean, like you said, it was a big gamble to do it on the pistol round. It could have blown up in their face, but it was successful, and now they have the momentum on their side. Do they keep playing aggressive or go to the passive approach now and just play against these Glocks? Because I doubt... I would assume they would think that Ibuypower is not going to pick up CZs.
Look at this long-range P90 sport. This is absurd. Come back around, you got a Glock. Whoa, physics just broke there. This is a full-on backflip from that minikerr connection. He'll step back out toward mid, have an easy double for himself. That ends the round. A net total of, I think, 4 kills in the last 3 rounds. Huge rounds for Open Equal Free. I feel almost reluctantly bad for OEF because they seem to be ne'er-do-wells when it comes to picking their offense. Against Complexity, they ramped up the speed. They ramped up the speed and tried to ram a bunch of weak points in maps, and then they got punished. Then they ended up winning that game, sure, but it was a very hair-raisingly close one. And this one, they slow it down, trying to interpret what it is that Ibuypower is doing to them, and their slowness gets them punished, and their speed yields them results. It's just a story of why is this so hard for us? Why can't we put it all together?
Yeah, I completely agree. But, I mean, they got a good start going into the second half like they did on the first half where Ibuypower doesn't have the money to pick up ops. But they're going for the aggressive push through smoke at Banana. I just don't know if I agree with that one, especially when you're behind and trying to get this round so you could, get the tie going.
Skadoodle with a unconventional hold spot, so he'd be protected from mid, looking back up from the underpass up to the Banana, caught desi pushing through, has an easy kill for himself. And Ibuypower will try to work off of that. All 4 players with the exception of Skadoodle, all 5 players with the exception of Skadoodle, will move back toward bomb site A. Nobody in just yet, but the closest one to the action is Steel, who's waiting, thinking that somebody's up at that balcony. He'll see this frag right here, or he'll hear it and he'll hear the running. He'll know he doesn't have to aim down there anymore. It looks like we're gonna... Oh, he heard that footstep, didn't he? minikerr heard that footstep.
Yeah, I heard it from his perspective, so he definitely did.
You can see by the behavior of Shroud, he flashes the barbecue area just to check if anybody's there lurking him, and he's like, yeah guys, I'm pretty sure you're right, I'm pretty sure it's an A take, we've got to take advantage of this. Irukandji's gonna push through this smoke. It's P90 YOLO time. Skadoodle stops him! He saves his team from doom! Huge heads-up play. Bomb gets planted in the smoke. dboorN tries to fight it off, and in the pit, minikerr will fight and wait for Swag to decapitate him. It never happens. 3 versus 4. AZK unevens the battle. And then Dazed makes this one virtually unwinnable. 11-8.
I gotta say, big heads-up play there by Skadoodle. I mean, you see Smoke get pushed so much lately that you gotta expect that, and Skadoodle did. He played, the defensive position for his team right there while they were trying to take truck, and, I mean, Irukandji probably would have got 3 kills right there had Skadoodle not been there.
Ska just totally noped him. He was just standing at the boiler. He was like, I know what you're thinking. Nope.
Yeah, nice try, buddy.
That's got to feel so good for Ska. And so bad for Irukandji. Nice aggressive peek to drop Skadoodle, ruin him, take him off the map because of how effective he's been, and give themselves just a little bit more of an advantage. 4 alive for the T's, clearly. They've got the bomb dropped. It doesn't really matter since they haven't committed to anything, and Swag wanted to go to a spam spot, but he falls off of that and will choose a different course of action. Steel responds with the first death of the OEF squad. That's dboorN, who's gone. Got a tree boost, and I think Shroud will boost his teammate, then leave the site, leaving the number 8 man Irukandji to guard it, so he'll move back toward Bomb side A. No commitments here, and it's a full spread. It's clearly a passive spread peak, maybe a passive spread pick, but so little information on the field for Ibuypower at the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, they lost one of their players very early, so that's obviously going to change up their strategy. They need to try. I think they're just looking for the picks now, the other picks that they could get, and see the dive in the pit. Oh wow, they do get that, so that's going to force the rotate towards A as we're seeing, and they're going to go plan B.
Shroud will even it up. No plant. They have to know it's so quiet here that we have to leave. You can see it on the minimap now. The behavior of the CTs has totally changed. They'll run back, and Dazed has to know he's been discovered. Steel will tell them that they vacated the site, and maybe Dazed will leave. No, he'll plant at the first oranges, and they can probably see him. So he turns in to protect his arms from being shot. Smart. Good game awareness. Good body awareness. And he'll try to uneven this fight early on so he doesn't have to worry about this retake too much. Far flanker, you can see OEF is moving so fast because they don't want to get flanked at the moment, and they know they have an uneven fight, so they'll move fast into the site. One at Emo, it's AZK who wins the battle, piercing headshot. And then a joined headshot from Dazed. One left, it's Irukandji. He gets gunned down by the duo. It's 12-8.
Yeah, and like you said, OEF did want to move fast because they knew that AZK was actually still lurking because he was in the pit, and before they rotated out, he actually picked up a nade or something, and Desi heard him, and so they knew exactly what he was doing, and they tried to get in that side as quickly as possible. I mean, good defensive hold by the two players of Ibuypower right there.
Grim times for Open Equal Free. They'll probably end up surrendering a 13th round, and Ibuypower will be that much closer to winning it all, walking away with the cash and the title. Most importantly, the title of champion. Slow hold here. An attempt to establish a little bit of control in the apartments. I'm curious to know what Swag is doing at this angle. He had a flashbang out earlier. It flashes his teammate probably into the apartments.
I think he was just looking to see if anyone decided to peek the boost one day. You can probably see like the tip of their head right there.
Perhaps. Perhaps. The number one man, AZK, sitting at the top of Banana. His posturing as a sort of an aggro lurk, being that far up, is good to catch the rotators if he can position himself well. No action. It's a standoff, and really both teams have chosen to play this round passive. The CTs are behind the second line of defense, not holding the arch and port side, but dropping back to the site. And they will probably be running into AK fire in just a moment. CZ step in, AK requisition. AZK will drop desi and probably look for the second. Oh, he's already dropped the second, so he's cleared out this bomb site. He'll call his team over. This will be an easy bomb plant. And Swag now goes to work. He'll transfer his spray, pick up a triple on the round, 13-8. A good-looking kill set for him, and we are just 2 away before we guarantee at least the game point.
Yeah, that spray control by Swag, pretty impressive. But, I mean, OEF kind of had the right idea right there going into that eco round. They knew that, they had the advantage, and so they had to play, kind of, I guess, easier spots in the sites where they had the good angles, which they tried to do that and just, get some easy headshots. But AZK kind of ruined that with his solo entrance into B, where he picked up 2 kills all by himself. And because they knew that they were in the apartments with Swag getting into the boost window and spraying the dark room. They knew that Ibuypower was pretty much setting up towards B. But, yeah, I mean, just impressive play by AZK, solo taking that site, and that completely changed around for him.
This is probably it. Even with the money for next round, if they buy again, Open Equal Free has not a whole lot to buy with. Certainly no utilities to work with next round. And again, round wins will only help you now. There's no healthy buy from here to the end of the game for Open Equal Free. So this is it. This is pretty much it. I'll give you a second look at it. It's not looking great.
No, it definitely is. I mean, the money is completely gone for OEF, so if Ibuypower does get this one, it's probably going to be a save, well, maybe a force buy, due to the circumstances of it being the 14th round for Ibuypower. But, I mean, either way, I mean, if they don't pick up this round, then yeah, not looking good.
Set smokes are in. We have action now. Minikerr's in the site, and looking off the flashes, the smokes, the fire, they'll try to isolate that person in the pit. Note how this is a complete isolation. That pit fight here is a complete smoke wall. Swag lands the first one in the pit, and the next one is an attempt from AZK to drop into the site. Still regains his composure with his AK, maybe drops another one, gets traded, 2 versus 3, and that bomb plant through the smoke is successful. Inside the site, it's all on minikerr to hold on. He needs to buy time for his teammate to show up, otherwise this round's an automatic Ibuypower win. Shroud has 1, and the remaining 2 Ts are both in the pit. This is going to net Swag a kill, so Shroud must save his team. Think of the implications for this round. Surely Ibuypower knew what it meant. 13 turns into 14 to 8.
Yeah, then look at the money. The highest cash amount for OEF was 3,600, so they can't really get a good force going here. It's going to be basically shotguns, pistols, and armor. 1 FAMAS. Looks like Desi picked up 1 no head armor, which you don't need head armor against AKs. But yeah, I mean, this is a very, very light force, and it's going to be tough for them to work with what they got going against Ibuypower, especially with how good Ibuypower has been executing their strategies and hitting their shots.
This feels like the North American equivalent of 2012 NIP. The Ibuypower is just too good right now for this open equal free squad.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
It'll take a miracle, but we've seen crazier things happen. We've kind of seen crazier things happen. minikerr wanted to make the play. He stepped out into the window, gets dropped with the supporting cast of Ibuypower who is waiting on him, lurking him. And this swag kill will allow Irukandji to move down. He'll stay down there because he's walled off by fire, so swag comes in pre-firing him, knowing that he couldn't have possibly left. And then he picks up the kill. 3 versus 4. And Ibuypower, if they win this one, move on to the game point. Too easy. Far, far too easy. dboorN had to have made that mistake, not thinking that swag had pushed in, but he had to have assumed it. 1 in bomb side B, and 1 running through Moto. Luckily for desi, swag had a bit of a brain fart there, an uncharacteristic complete whiff, which leaves him intact and ready to fight on at bomb side A. The bomb will move back toward bomb side B. It's a 2-on-1 fight for desi, and a 1-on-1 fight for Shroud. Shroud hears it. AZK is about to run into the Mag 7 trap. He needs to turn around.
He really does. Or the other 2 terrorists need to get over to him ASAP.
Oh no. He's going to drop that AK, thinks his teammates are coming from the other direction. He's got it completely red. It's all on Shroud now to save this round. 9 seconds, stay alive. 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3. The hunt is on. He's going to get shot. Oh my lord!
Oh my goodness.
Skadoodle!
He got, if you notice, Shroud got caught up on one of those corners, which slowed him down just a hair, and that gave Skadoodle enough time to get that shot as he was trying to jump into the T-stairs, and oh my god. Wow. Talk about a photo finish right there.
Photo finish. Skadoodle playing the role of the Grim Reaper. I swear to you, Shroud had the feeling, I made it! We clutched it. We're okay. Freedom. Oh, it's heartbreaking. Ibuypower now sits on it. The game point. 1 away from taking the crown. And like we said, this could have just been for them a glorified coronation ceremony. An announcement that we are de facto the best. We are the top guns in all of North America. Seems that way. It seems at this point an inevitability. dboorN steps in, nice looking
even
kill.
Though it is game point for Ibuypower right now, it does seem that losing bonus has kicked in for OEF, so they do have a much better buy going into this potential last round here. So, I mean, they got something to work with at least going into this for the tie.
They do. Ibuypower is down a man. And they'll go for a set piece here. They have everybody intact and all the necessary pieces that they need to get this one closed off. They flash themselves, which slows them down just a hair. The rotates are now called for. Shroud and desi win most of that fight, and AZK make sure that it's an even trade. 2-4-2. Oh, God.
Goodness, AZK.
AZK sitting on a 26 and 17 at the moment, and probably not a 27. 2 versus 1. Dazed to win it all. 1. And then not the second. minikerr won't go down without a fight. This defuse will make it 15-9. Man,
I thought AZK was going to be unstoppable that round. Getting the 3K as he enters into the side, basically opening it up for his team. That's one of those rounds where you got to be like, come on, guys. I can't do it all by myself. But you know what? OEF coming in here, getting that round and stopping the bleeding a little bit. I mean, they do get more money to pick up guns and, you know, have a bit... it looks like minikerr and Shroud, actually. No, we got a Famas, but minikerr's still wielding that pistol and armor, so...
Well, I have to feel a little bit concerned for the B defenders.
Oh, he's got the AK. Never mind.
Yeah, I have to feel a little bit concerned about the B defenders right now. Look how many Molotovs have been purchased by Ibuypower.
Oh, yeah.
Surely they'll move around here. Maybe they'll find their pick, and maybe this ends up at A. But if it doesn't, their fallback plan is for the B sets. The B set smokes, the B sets flash, and, of course, lots of molly.
If Skadoodle hits this shot at B, then...
He doesn't, but guess who does? AZK. Moments away. OpenEqualFree.org faces their doom. That smoke is no good for the CT cross, and if you don't smoke that off, you cannot sleep on this team. 2 versus 3, minikerr and Shroud to hold on to stave defeat. The reverse is on. minikerr knows he'll run back toward A, but he has to know that he's been flanked. He can't run out this corner with his knife. That'll drop him. So it's Shroud to save it all. And minikerr has no faith in his team, but the bomb planted now. Shroud can't even make it there without starting his YOLO defuse because he has no kit. This is pretty much over. And my favorite spot to lurk in all of Counter-Strike. Nobody ever checks it, except for Shroud.
Well, he just, he didn't check it. He just got shot and Steel connected right away.
In just a moment, this one comes to an end. On your right, Shroud.
Oh, no.
A knife for the end?
That's what I was thinking, but no.
He just wants the kills. It's all over. Season 4 comes to an end. Ibuypower is your champion into a single